Hello, David Starr here, and we're going to take an in-depth look at publishing a SaaS offer. Now, this video will be a bit longer than most of the others in this series as we have a lot of ground to cover. So let's get going. We'll start by looking at the workflow of creating a SaaS offer, what the steps are and how we execute them. And then we'll spend most of our time in demo creating a SaaS offer in Partner Center. Feel free to follow along, pausing the video as needed so that you can create your own offer as we go. First, let's have a look at the flow of creating a SaaS offer and how it gets published to the marketplace. What follows is the SaaS offer lifecycle, which starts from a technical standpoint with the developers developing a landing page. A landing page is where customers go to configure their subscription with the publisher. The publisher is also responsible for creating a webhook. Now, this is an API endpoint that accepts events from the Azure Marketplace when things change for a given subscription. Landing pages and webhooks can be implemented via any technology stack that you choose and can be hosted anywhere you like as well. We hope that you enjoy using Azure and host there, but that isn't necessary. Once we have these in place, we can start talking about the technical aspects of Partner Center, but we're going to walk through creation of a SaaS offer from beginning to end, and we'll include our landing page and webhook when appropriate. First, as we said, we start out in Partner Center, and we'll go to the Marketplace Offers workspace of Partner Center. Now, the first thing we're going to do as a developer creating a new landing page and webhook is create a test offer. We want to create a test offer so that it doesn't get mixed up with an offer that's going to be put into production, because we don't want to put our test offer into production. So we need to fill out information on the offer that typically comes from the business side of our organization. Marketing, finance, etc. Now, we do need to fill some of this out in our test offer in order to publish it, but we'll minimize that, especially during the demo. We then go to our technical configuration section of our offer and fill in information about our landing page and webhook, and we'll see how to do that. It's simply pasting in the URL of our landing page and the URL of our webhook. Next, we're going to create a plan. And that plan will be associated with our offer, because when we purchase an offer, what we're actually purchasing is a plan. Think silver, gold, platinum, and I'm buying the gold plan, for example. Next, when developing our landing page and webhook, we publish our offer to the preview stage of the application publication pipeline. Once we've published the test offer to preview, then we are able to work on our landing page and webhook so that we can further enhance the functionality and capabilities of those applications. Think of this as our sandbox or our development environment. This is the last stage that we would actually go through for developing our landing page and webhook and testing with an offer that's not going to go to production. This last step is really only for those offers that we want to go live into the Azure Marketplace. So we get all the way to that preview stage, we refine and test our landing page and webhook, and then we go live once we're ready to do that, but not with our development test offer. Now that we have a conceptual idea of how SaaS offers are published, let's actually go through the steps. Here we are in Partner Center, and we're going to create a SaaS offer in record time. So let's start off by going into the Marketplace Offers section of the Partner Center portal. And what we get is a list of our existing offers if there are any. In this case, we're showing 4 that I already have in place. Now we're going to create a new offer, and while we have lots of different offer types to choose from, we'll of course select software as a service for our SaaS application. We'll give it an offer ID, and in this case we'll call it SaaS Offer 1. And we need to give it an alias. That is a name that will refer to this offer as inside of Partner Center. So we'll call it SaaS Offer 1. So we'll create that SaaS offer. Doesn't take very long. Now we've got our alias up here that we've already entered, and we'll go quickly through the offer setup page. First of all, we would like to bill through Microsoft, so that's a given. Now the next thing we need to do is connect Partner Center to our customer relationship management system. So we haven't set up a CRM yet. We select connect, and you can see from the drop-down that we have several different types of CRMs that we can choose from to integrate with. I'm going to simply put our leads into an Azure table. I also have to provide an email of someone who's going to receive these leads and notification of them. Now I'm going to paste in a connection string for my leads table. You can see that this is just standard connection string, and then I'll validate that this connection actually works. Great, we've successfully connected to our lead destination. So we'll select connect, and now we're done with customer leads. Then we come down to Microsoft 365 integration. We don't have to worry about that in our Azure Marketplace SaaS application instance. So what we'll do is save draft, which we have to do on every page as we go through Partner Center. So as we set up our complete offer, we'll actually save each page individually as we go. So now we go to the properties page. The properties page requires us to do a couple of things so that we can go ahead and publish. One of which is we need to pick a category. So for this sample, I'm going to pick developer tools not applicable. You can see that that required text went away. And you can optionally select what industry your application resides in, app version, and we'll choose to use the standard contract Microsoft provides. You can put your own into this text box as an addendum, or you can upload your own amendment documents. In this case, we're just going to go ahead and save draft, keep moving. These are the types of things that are typically entered by the business folks in your organization. And the technical folks are typically not so concerned with these sorts of data and activities. Now we've already named this SaaS Offer 1, but that was an alias that we'll see inside of Partner Center. We could change this to be a different name that we'll see in the marketplace. And so I'm going to change this to Elegant Code SaaS Offer. This is what we'll see show up in the marketplace should we publish this. And then search results summary. This is what we'll see when we find the offer through search results. And I'm just going to throw a little lorem ipsum into there to act as a placeholder. And then for the description of the offer, I'll throw a little bit more lorem in place. All right, so my getting and start instructions, usually you're going to put something here like click the configure account button to get started. Instead, what we'll do is throw in again some placeholder texts, and then you can put in keywords that boost your search ranking within the marketplace. We'll forego that for the time being, and it does require that we put in a link to your company's privacy policy. There's a lot more data required here in terms of contact information. So I'll go ahead and fill that out and we'll skip ahead. All right, I've got that contact information filled out. Now we actually have to add logos to our offer listing. I'm going to skip this for right now and go ahead and save draft. And you can see that it's telling me that several fields still need my attention on this page. I'll come back and fill these out so that you don't have to watch me do that, as these are things typically not done by the technical folks working on the offer. Now we get to something more interesting for our technical viewers, and that is preview audience. When we publish, if you'll recall from the publish workflow, we get to a preview stage that we talked about acting as a sandbox or a dev and test environment. To gain access to that environment, we put the email addresses of those folks that we would like to be able to purchase from the preview environment. So you might, for example, put someone at yourcompany.com, and we make a note here about who that may be. And you can add more. You can add up to 10 people who might preview your offer. So we'll save draft on this, and these individuals will have access to your offer during preview stage. For right now, we're going to skip over technical configuration plan overview, come right back to those. Instead, what we'll do is jump through the rest of the business settings that need to be in place for you to be able to publish this offer to the preview stage. Firstly, co-sell with Microsoft is a program that you can enroll your company in, but since this is a simple test offer, we're going to skip that. And the same is true of resale through cloud solution providers. However, we do need to provide a value on this page in order to publish. So we're going to select no partners in the CSP program and save draft. Now let's back up to our technical configuration. Our technical configuration is going to ask for several things about our landing page and webhook. It may be that your landing page is at a URL like this one, and your webhook might be at an endpoint like this. This is very common for these two fields to look this way. And keep in mind, it doesn't have to be an Azure website like I'm using here. It could be your company / landing page, and it could be your company / API / webhook, something like that. Now the next thing we need to do is go into our Azure Active Directory application registration that we created to go along with our landing page. And what we see when we go into our app registrations is a list of app registrations. I've got one here called SaaS Demo Multi-Tenant. This is the one we want to use to fill in the next two fields, one of which is directory or tenant ID. So I'm going to copy that and throw it over into our Active Directory tenant ID field. Then going to go up to the application ID, grab that, and fill it in for the application ID field on our technical configuration. I'll save draft on this page, and we've successfully set up our technical configuration. Now, when someone clicks configure on their SaaS offer, they'll be taken to the landing page URL, and the webhook will be notified of subscription change events. Now let's head over to plan overview. We'll create one plan for our SaaS offer and have a look at what that looks like. First of all, we need to create a plan ID. We'll give it a plan ID of plan 1. And the plan name, I'll use something as simple as the Silver plan. All right, now we can go ahead and create this plan. Remember, we can have multiple plans associated with a given offer, but in our case, I'm just going to create one for the sake of time, and you can publish an offer with only one plan, by the way. So we'll put some placeholder text inside the plan description, save draft, and then come up to pricing and availability. This has several things on it that you need to fill in, including what markets the offer might be sold in. Now, for our purposes, I'm going to simply select United States, although there are 141 markets available to you in which you might sell. Now, the plan can be sold flat rate, which is what we're going to do, or per user, per month, or per annual. So we're going to choose flat rate with a monthly price of $0 since this is our testing environment. And note that we could add meters and dimensions here. These are different ways of billing that are covered in other videos within this video series, which I would encourage you to have a look at for how to do metered billing. This offer will not have a free trial and it will be public in terms of its visibility. So we'll save draft. And now we've essentially completed all of the information required to publish an offer. And our next step would logically be to come up to the top of this page and select Review and Publish. I'll go ahead and click Review and Publish, and it'll take me to first a review page, which shows me all of the things that we have filled in correctly so that I can go ahead and publish my offer. However, you may note that there is one thing we've not yet done, and that is complete the offer listings page. This is the one that required me to upload all the logos and such. Now, instead of doing that and filling in all of that information, we're going to switch our offer over to the SaaS demo offer, which is already complete and set up. Now, in this case, if we click Review and Publish, we see that no changes have been made since it was last published, and therefore we can infer that all of the sections are essentially green. Now, when we go to the top of our offer overview, this is an incredibly important journey map that we see. When we click Review and Publish, and we have everything filled in properly, we can go ahead and click the Publish button. When that happens, we are presented with this publish status map. Now, this map tells us about all of the stages that we're going to go through during the publication process. First of all, we've got automated validation, which checks various things about our offer to ensure that they're set up properly. Once that passes, we move over into preview creation. Preview creation does exactly what it says. It creates a preview environment, that sandbox we talked about, so that we can actually test within that test environment. How do we get to that test environment? Over here are two links, and I'll use this one, Azure Portal Preview. When I click Azure Portal Preview, I'm taken to a new tab in my browser that effectively shows me my offer listing as it would appear in the Azure portal, were I to come to it through the marketplace. I can select any of the plans that we have on this offer. In this case, we even have a private plan, and go ahead and set up this offer like we would any other. In other videos of this series, you've seen us set up offers already, so there's no need to go into the offer setup process. Just wanted you to realize that the way we got here was through this link in Partner Center. We are in preview stage at this point, and that means that our offer is not live in the marketplace. This is our test sandbox. So, should we want to take an offer and continue the flow, get it all the way into production, we would hit this Go Live button. And of course, that Go Live button is the first step toward getting my offer to actually publish. The next thing that would happen is a manual certification team will have a look at your SaaS offer to ensure that it functions as advertised and within the constraints of the Azure Marketplace. And finally, there's a publication process which takes place to actually get your offer pushed out to the Azure Marketplace. And you'll see these things turn green incrementally as they are passed, or you may see them turn red if they fail, in which case you may have to go back and change something about your offer. But as developers working on our landing page and webhook, publisher sign-off, that is to say, this stage is as far as we need to go with the test offer that we're working with. All right, so what did we cover? First, we talked about the flow of the publication process. What does it mean to move from creating an offer in Partner Center all the way through to getting it out live onto the Azure Marketplace? And then we saw how to actually do that by going through the publication process in Partner Center. And we saw that we needed to bring some information out of the Azure portal and put it into the Partner Center technical configuration. Remember too that in order to test when in the sandbox environment, we need to be members of the preview audience, which allows access to the application in the sandbox environment so it can be tested. Thanks so much for joining me in this module of the Mastering the Marketplace series focused on SaaS offers.